Peace be with you, everyone. Welcome to my channel. My name's Trevor. Really grateful to have you here. And in today's video, I'm going to be going over my weekly rotation for the second week of March. I think the 6th through the 12th. So without further ado, I'm going to get right into the breakdown here. So Monday, it was fairly warm, warmer than it's been throughout the winter. It was right around the low 40s. Kind of gray, overcast atmosphere outside though, so it's slightly warm but still kind of cloudy and dark in some sense. But I still, starting to get that vibe of spring in the air because the weather's picking up. So I wanted to reach for something kind of green but also a little bit sweet, and I went with this little gem right here, Dunhill Edition. So this is a really beautiful kind of, it's came out in 1984, I think, so it's like old school in that sense, but I don't think it's really dated. It doesn't really have too much of that kind of abrasive oak moss, you could say. I think there is oak moss in here though, but balsam fir I think is the main green note player. It does have carnation, so it harkens back to fragrance notes that are from a previous time, but what I get off of this is like a really creamy, almost minty quality from, I think there's some geranium in here as well. And then nutmeg kind of adds this sweetness to it, like a unique sweetness. So yeah, just this was a really great wear. That was that sweetness coming off of the nutmeg, and then just like this really creamy green quality in here as well. About 4 to 5 hours projection and longevity. I carried this one with me to work just to reapply. To kind of compensate for the poor longevity, or moderate, I should say, longevity. I haven't smelled the vintage version of this, but I hear the scent profile has been remained relatively intact. It's just the longevity's taken a hit, but you can find this for right around $20. I think this is a really great hidden gem grab for the springtime, so definitely worth checking out. It was great wearing this one on Monday, Dunhill Edition. So Tuesday, only fragrance that I actually got a compliment on this week. I got 2 compliments from 2 separate people while I was wearing it that day though. Said it smelled really good, it smelled kind of fruity to them. I don't think there's any fruit notes in here, but I do get a little bit of a citrusy vibe coming together, like almost like a lemon lime appeal. But that is this one, Mousse Illuminée from Rogue Perfumery. So oak moss based, it's kind of like teeters the line between Chypre and Fougere, because it's got that, it's no lavender, so it's not like a real Fougere, and it's more like a Chypre because it does have like some, it's got the oak moss, some smells like citrus, but I don't think they list any citrus notes, and then there is some olibanum in here, so I think it's more of a Chypre, but it has like that certain creamy quality that you would expect in a Fougere. I don't know where that's coming from in here, but yeah, it's just like a very kind of creamy, a little bit kind of similar to this Dunhill Edition, but this does have a little bit more of a scratchy oak moss than the Dunhill. But done exceptionally well. Like I said, only one that I got a compliment on this week. It was still kind of like the same temperature, right around the low 40s, but it was a lot more sunny and bright that day, and this is very much a sunny and bright fragrance. Mousse Illuminée translates to illuminated moss, and this was just like an incredibly great wear to kind of ease me into that springtime sort of promise of spring, I guess you could say, because so far in March we've actually gotten more snow than I have gotten here near me all of January and February, and we're not even done with the month yet. But yeah, really pleasant wear Tuesday for me, sunny and low 40s. That was Mousse Illuminée from Rogue Perfumery. Okay, so I had 2 fragrances for Wednesday. Scent of the day Wednesday was this one, Guerlain Homme. Really nice mint mojito style fragrance. It's got that classic Guerlain quality, slightly like, I don't want to say like powdery, but there's just like something about Guerlain fragrances that have this like very just smooth, like almost sweetness going on. This has that, and it's got a really nice lime kind of citrus off the top, so it sparkles in a way that not many of my fragrances do. Like limes, you don't see it that often in fragrances, but yeah, so mint mojito is really what you get with this one. Newer bottle styles have come out since then. But you can still get 50 mLs of this for like $38 on FragranceNet last time I checked. Definitely worth checking out. I featured this one in a like kind of an honorable mentions cheapie list for March video I did recently. Sometimes the mint in this one gets a little bit nauseating for me if you know, I'm not wearing it in outdoors, I guess you could say. The outside it's fine, but when I'm inside, the mint in here is so strong it kind of gets to me a little bit, which is why I don't reach for this one that often. But I have gotten a little bit of a dent in it, and I think it is a masterfully blended creation from Guerlain. So that was, I think, you know, still hanging out around the actually, no, Wednesday we got all the way up to the 50s, so it was sunny and 50 out. That's why I grabbed this one. It's got that little bit of extra beautiful kind of fizzy brightness up at the top with that lime. So that was my scent of the day Wednesday. But Wednesday is when I go into work at the evening time, and so I wanted to grab something a little bit more dark as the temperature was dropping. Weren't quite in the 50s anymore, and wanted to go with something a little bit more mass appealing. So my scent of the night at work that night was Dior Sauvage Elixir. Kind of, people say it smells like Drakkar Noir. I don't own a bottle of Drakkar Noir, but I have smelt it on other people that have worn it at work near me. I can't really remember to make the comparison properly though, but this is just really nice lavender, and then there's some cinnamon and black licorice, and I do get the most compliments off of this fragrance out of anything that I've worn at work, especially from the younger girls. So yeah, it's definitely a mass appealing, easy to wear. It's quite a bit loud, but I feel like unless I'm wearing a loud fragrance, people aren't noticing it, and it's really more of like a scent that I wear for myself if it's not a loud fragrance or if I don't overspray. I think I have really dry skin, so it helps when I do wear loud fragrances like this, but definitely worth getting your nose on. Go check it out at your local Sephora or Macy's. It is a little bit pricey, but I think the quality is there, as is the case with most Dior fragrances, and that was Scent of the Evening at Work Wednesday, Dior Sauvage Elixir. Okay, so Thursday, temperatures were dropping a little bit more. It was kind of partly cloudy. Sun was coming in and out of little breaks that were going on in the sky. Still a little bit on the chilly side though. I think we were like low 40s, high 30s. But still kind of had that spring vibe going on in the air. Was ready to kind of get out of winter, but this one is a really kind of nice balance between that spring and winter transition. It's got some sweet elements, but also some herbal green qualities, and that is Givenchy Gentleman Eau de Toilette Intense. So basil is going to be one of the main players in here, and then you get that traditional sort of Givenchy Gentleman iris composition that gives it that sweet powdery quality, but the basil and some of the other elements in here kind of allow it to be a little bit more herbaceous and green in some sense, a little bit sharp as well. So this was a really pleasant wear for me that day on Thursday, just kind of, like I said, balancing the sweetness with the herbal qualities to match when the sun was breaking out, and just kind of getting that warmth hitting my skin, but also like enough to batter against the winds and the the cold breezes that were coming through. Really beautiful stuff. Definitely one of the more unique ones in the Givenchy Gentleman line. Some of them can kind of be redundant at times, but this one is definitely worth getting your nose on. That was Givenchy Gentleman Eau de Toilette Intense. And so Friday kind of had a little bit of the same weather pattern as Thursday, just kind of partly cloudy, the sun breaking in and out, a little bit warmer, probably like mid 40s that day. I went with this classic Prada Amber Pour Homme. One of the best soapy fragrances that I've got in my collection. Mostly, you get that signature Prada soapy vibe going on in here. But this one's a little bit different from your Prada L'Homme. This one's got some really sort of like unique notes for a soapy fragrance. There's saffron and myrrh that are going to be some of the main players in here. I think there's like cardamom as well that kind of adds a little bit of this like sweetness to it, but like keeping it fresh at the same time. So really awesome stuff if you've never gotten your nose on this one. Despite the name Prada Amber, it's not particularly an amber style fragrance, I would say. Like the resinous qualities in here come more out of a myrrh note. And then the saffron is like one of the main players you get throughout the journey of this fragrance. It's a little bit linear in some sense, but beautiful, beautiful wear, and you feel like clean, classy, elegant, and just was keeping me warmed up a little bit in any instances where there were like a cold breeze that day when I was out and about on Friday. So that's a beautiful fragrance, Prada Amber Pour Homme for Friday. Okay, so Saturday I recently got a new fragrance. I think I got a fragrance in the mail Friday evening, and I decided to wear it for my scent of the day on Friday, and that is Eau Sauvage Parfum, the 2017 version. So I was wearing this as my scent of the day, and then on my left hand I was doing a comparison with this one, which is Eau Sauvage Parfum, the 2012 version. Slight differences in juice color, and then the label here, you've got the black label on the 2012 original version and the silver label on the newer version. I won't go too much into detail right now. I'll do a separate comparison video between the two, but the dry down on them I found was pretty similar, which is it's very woody, but then there's also, this one has a lot more of a bright citrusy opening, and then they also both have this slight, the way that everything, the composite of notes comes together is very much like a gives me like a black licorice vibe, or like a licorice vibe in general. Just the way that the resins kind of come together with the other elements in here. But yeah, this one, really elegant, classy, gentlemanly style fragrance. I was actually, as my father's 60th birthday on Saturday, so I wore this to that event. Didn't get any compliments on it, but I thoroughly enjoyed the wear. It was just like such an easy grab, something that's very well suited to my character at this point in my life. Probably was a little bit more damp and dark and cloudy than I would have liked to reach for this fragrance in its ideal environment, but like I said, it was a new acquisition and I was eager to break it out. But yeah, woody citrus, just gentlemanly cologne, that's really what you get with this one, and that was my scent of the day for Saturday. And then wrapping up the week, Sunday it was kind of like a warm rain environment. It was like high 40s, almost 50 degrees. There was raining throughout most of the day. It was just kind of like a wet spring vibe going on outside. You could just feel the wood and the grass starting to rehydrate after a winter season. So I went with this one right here, Tom Ford's Gray Vetiver. Really beautiful wear in those rainy day situations. The gray name in this one does match that kind of gray atmosphere going on in a rainy day. What I get from this one is kind of like a very natural smelling chlorine. So it has that cleanliness to it, and then a slight, soapy vetiver vibe going on because it is a vetiver based fragrance. And then, like I said, the citruses just give it this very sharp almost contrast to the creamy vetiver that bring it into that chlorine style scent profile, but very elegant, very sophisticated, upscale. Went out and did a little bit of running around and then dined in at a restaurant and was wearing this one that day. Beautiful wear, easy, versatile, nice, just elegant stuff right here. Looking forward to get some more wears out of this one on some more rainy days upcoming this spring. That ended off my week, Tom Ford's Gray Vetiver. All right, so let me know what your weekly rotation was in the comments section down below. I appreciate you sticking with me to the end of this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.